And John, now, so with this new identity in the Word and black man identity, Jesus, this thing, how is that working for you in terms of success?
Well, I'll put you like this. The lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, you become desensitized to the moving of God. For me, once I was able to see how simple things were, to appreciate the small things, then the Lord started showing me that it is a pervertedness when you can't recognize my blessings. How I am merciful to you every moment. The Lord was teaching me, man of God, you have to live in the moment. You can't praise me in the past or in the future. I need you right here in the moment. And in that moment, I will be able to make changes. And I will be able to verify things through you, through what your child may say, through something a pastor may say, someone's touch, different things. It's not all about you. And once he showed me that, that's when he showed me that true success was not the fame. It wasn't bright lights. It wasn't how quickly you could go from 0 to 10 if you felt someone violated you, or if a police officer said something to you, you'd have the right words to say within the law to defend yourself. He showed me what is important, man of God, is self-control and receiving me and love and in peace, because you are a slave. I was a slave, and a lot of us in here are still slaves. And you know you're a slave. You know you're a slave. You know you're a slave. No, for real. You know you're a slave. and the Lord was showing me, do you really want to be free? Like you were talking to us in the back, brother, when you said about freedom and the cost of freedom and how good it feels to be free, but how difficult it is to be free if you won't surrender.
Yeah. All right, so now here's another word. Here's a big word. For anyone that has issues, you'll recognize this word. It's called relapse. Right? So you got saved, God called you, he put, boom, and now you're in and you're walking with God, and there's a trip. It's called relapse. Tell me about that, John.
Oh, man. Sure?
Yeah.
All right. Relapse started coming when I was having financial challenges. When I started thinking, well, Lord, I may be able to change a person's temperament throughout the day by my smile or handshake or my gestures, or the fact that I may empathize with someone. It may lift their spirits up, but I started thinking, this is not enough. It's not reward enough. I want to prosper. I want to see something happen. For me, start becoming self-centered again. And then that relapse takes you back to the point of, I have to start doing things for myself, start providing for myself, start arguing for myself, and that was my relapse.
Wow.
I think a relapse for me happens when I allow my thinking to go back to the old me. And it's not by accident that the Bible tells us to renew our minds, because what we think about become actions. Amen. So when you're in a place and you're so used to going, if you're in a car and you're so used to driving to work, you can do it every day, and then you're supposed to be going to church, but you end up going to work, because your mind gets stuck into that rut. And so I'm learning that's where that happens. It's all a part of my thinking and understanding who I am and my identity in Christ, but I have to know the truth and then
Amen.
believe the truth.
Compromise. Me making that compromise opened up the door for other areas where I had discipline got weakened. And that was it.
I want to explain something to everybody really quick. Just what she said was very, very, very powerful. Everybody has some form of thing that they are, quote unquote, addicted to. You can be addicted to work. You can be addicted to your kids. You can be addicted to basketball. You have something that consumes your time. And what ends up happening is that is a decision that literally becomes ingrained in the brain based on the electrochemical process of the mind. Your synapse and everything, it becomes almost like a ski luge, or like if you were from San Francisco, it's like skating down that really big hill that goes like that. Yeah, it becomes that fast, and literally thought becomes action, and you don't know how you got here until you're done. And it's a cycle. And so you start off with the thought. She says she doesn't keep her thoughts. It goes back to her old self, and it becomes just an idea, and you dwell on it. You don't shut it down. You don't tell somebody. then the thought builds, and now, the urge for whatever it is, it could be eating chocolate at 2 a.m, and now all of a sudden, before you know it, now you're acting, you've just exploded on somebody in wrath, and you don't know where my anger came from. I thought I dealt with that, Jesus. We confessed that 2 years ago. Well, you have a cycle that you have not addressed. Paul discusses this in Romans 7, where he says, the good that I would do, I don't do, and the bad that I don't want to do, I do. I see a law in my flesh. We haven't thought about that in that way, but that's literally what it is. The way your brain is designed, your body is designed, it becomes a law that must be followed. Outside of the lawgiver coming in and recreating something, it must be followed. It is a physiological law.